So I just got done with my court hearing, and it went pretty good. I went in there, and court was at 9 a.m. Lakewood, Ohio, and I'm go in there and wait like 2 hours. It was a ton of fun. Get called up finally, Violet River Portz, and I declined to give them my ID. So I said, I am Violet, and I am here to stand for the accused. And he just dismissed me and said, go sit back down. And then after a couple other people, he called me back up. And the entire time before he called me back up, he was just eyeing the shit out of me. And it was kind of funny. I could tell that I was on his mind because he kept stumbling over people's things as he was reading them. And he kept looking at me and eyeing me and stuff like that. And I was eyeing some other people and stuff like that were with me. And he could just tell that I was corresponding and talking about some stuff that he wasn't going to be interested in. So he called me up again, Portz, and he said, where's your ID at? And I said, it's at home. My name is Violet River Portz. I am a sovereign entity, and I am here to stand for the accused. And he said, I'm going to call a recess, and your case will be continued tomorrow at 9 a.m. and you have to bring your ID. And I should have said, no, I'm here right now. Either you dismiss the case or we take care of it now. But I said, okay. And I sat back down. And then I paid the ticket afterwards, after that hearing finished, after I left. I went over to the other bureau and I paid the ticket because it was only $170. And I didn't have the balls to say at the time. I wasn't totally prepared for it. I should have done some other things. But that's life, and we live it and we learn it. But yeah, it's interesting. I just wanted to give a little wrap up to that. In the future, for anyone who knows, for anyone who wants to know, apparently there's a lot that goes on with this legal stuff, and there's a lot that could have been done where I could use it to my advantage. First off, I have to go up there and I have to say, I am not Violet River Portz. My name is Violet River Portz, and I am not the accused. I am, however, here for the accused, and I stand for the accused. And when they continue to ask, if you can get past that, then they're going to ask you, okay, are you a citizen? You have to say no. Are you a person of the United States? You have to say no. You have to say, I am a sovereign. And that's pretty much it. Just, I am sovereign of the Republic of the United States of America. And then you will have the chance to, you have to ask them to place a mandatory judicial notice, or where you have to ask them to place a mandatory judicial notice where in it you state that, in this judicial notice you state for the court to notice that you have, just double checking this is still recording, yeah, that you have no contempt for the court or anyone in the court, and also you state for the court to notice that you are not surety for the accused. Surety meaning liable to pay for the accused debt. Now, after that judicial notice is placed, they cannot find you in contempt for court, which that judge did have contempt for me, by the way, which was interesting. Can't say that though. And from there, you go on to simply say if it's a speeding, or if it's a citation like mine, failure to yield to oncoming traffic, it was a $170 fine. You say Your Honor, you're asking the accused to commit a crime whereas you're asking the accused to pay a ticket. Note, payment of debt, as in here described, has been defined henceforth as not as against congressional and public policy. I'll say that again. Payment of debt is against congressional and public policy. So that means that, and that is under the 48 Statutes at Large, Chapter 112 is where you can find this information at, where it's defined under. It continues to say that since it's against public policy, and if you're in a court, which in the court that I just went to, there was a flag with gold fringe and eagles on it. That gold fringe around that flag means you're in a foreign country, that you're under maritime law, that the jurisdiction is of commercial law. So public policy is law, commerce is the name of the game, and they only have jurisdiction over something that they've created. A corporation can only tax and regulate something it's created. So they have to prove that they created you. So if the whole thing with they don't dismiss it after you say it's illegal for me to pay this fine, and these fines have to be dismissed as defined under Statute 48 Statutes at Large, Chapter 112. Then you can continue to say that I demand that the state take a DNA test and prove it created me. At least this is what I've come to understand that I could have done, had I been able to get far enough to actually say any of that. I kind of got shut down really, really fast, and I wasn't really prepared enough to say anything about the issue. I kind of reacted pretty poorly, so don't react like me. Know your rights. You can do something about it next time, and all you got to do is just do some research, because you can actually use the law to your advantage a little bit, and you can claim yourself as a sovereign entity, and you don't have to claim to be your birth certificate, social security number, straw man, bullshit, fucking legal fiction that they want you and that they expect you to claim to be as soon as you go into court. So next time you get a court summons, look into how you can only summons the dead. And yeah, have a nice afternoon. Love and wholeness.